What made the popular kid at school the unpopular kid? He shit his pants. He got into legal trouble because he and his team embezzled/misused $250K from the student union. The university kicked him out, stopped paying the annual $2 million to the student union, withhold funds, although that was later overruled by the courts, and revoked the privileges granted to the student union. Earlier this year, they stated that they and students are no affiliation to the student union after 1 year of negotiations. His team was still running the student union because they were re-elected. They bought votes by offering pancakes, waffles and donuts for those who vote for their party, and had street volunteers that would pressure students to vote for the party. It actually led to a law being passed in Ontario that prevented universities to force students to pay non-mandatory fees. The scandal was revealed by a student party called the Rhino Party back in December 2018. January and February, heads started rolling, and law and accounting firms started getting involved to figure out how much was spent. It was rumored the figure was anywhere from $100K $900K. Ontario provincial lawmakers passed the law in the summer of 2018. Starting fall 2019, I had a choice whether I wanted to pay auxiliary fees to support the student newspaper, GOS that operated in the school, support the student union etc. That provincial law was recently overturned by the courts this year, so starting next fall, I'm forced to pay fees associated with groups that I don't support. He went from being popular to being a school meme. There's actually a lot of bank statements available that showcase what they bought. Pretty cool guy, into a few different hobbies, and was very friendly. Too friendly. Me and my friends noticed this, and dropped him, because he wouldn't stop trying to be physical with us. His excuse was I'm bisexual, but that gives him no right to touch me. Eventually he cheated on his girlfriend of several years with the school whore, recorded fucking her, and showed his friends. Within a day the entire school hated him, and he dropped out, or transferred. Nobody knows, nobody cares, but I know a lot of people that would love to throw hands for what he did. His ex that he cheated on was insanely heartbroken and led to a very depressing and sad part of her life, but she has gotten better since. A fake. Stopped coming to school. Didn't even do her exams in the end. Just sat at home and smoked weed all the time. Didn't even work. She just got boyfriends who would pay for everything for her. Became spiritual, got the Hindu symbol tattooed on her finger, got dreadlocks, etc. Posted weird photos on her Instagram. It's hard to explain, but she just sort of became weird. I once heard her talking to a bunch of 13-year-olds about how her boyfriend just got out of prison. She also always spoke about wanting to have a baby. This weed smoking, non-working, 18-year-old girl wanted a child. In the end nobody in my school even spoke to her anymore. Even her friends didn't like her much because she was sort of a bitch. She was popular because she was super pretty and smart. It's sad. She obviously has no direction in her life. Her only qualifications are the exams we did when we were 15. Her brother and sister were still in the school. They were really nice and basically the opposite to her. I hope they do well. When she made fun of me in front of everyone for wearing a yellow shirt to school. It was just a plain yellow shirt and she somehow found a way to mock the color. It was so unnecessary and made her look like someone who was just rude for no reason. Everyone quickly realized that she thought people were automatically on her side cause she was somewhat rich, and she just became a joke after that. This kid in middle school used to talk shit to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him and everyone thought he was tough and could fight until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight. He just was excellent at intimidation. Now a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of those kids came from very tough homes, and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town, but was really a gentle giant. He could play football, he was muscular, he could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly. A minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his ass kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere. His clothes got ripped, one of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away, and to top it all off he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a massacre. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence, but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma, it would have had to have been on this day, because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. Our star football player lost his full ride football scholarship to LSU after beating his girlfriend into a coma. It's been like 8 years, but if memory serves correctly, he didn't end up going to prison or juvie because they lack sufficient evidence. He eventually got expelled from our school because it had a zero tolerance policy for fighting, and one of his girlfriend's friends called him out for beating her while in the hallway. He didn't like being confronted and tried to beat the shit out of the guy calling him out. Edit. Oh shit, this sorta blew up. Finally remembered the guy's name. There weren't any news articles directly about the incident in question. According to everything I could find, he got a lawyer very quickly and got the charges reduced. He got picked up by another major school. Not a winning one, but certainly a big one. He underperformed his freshman year and a newer recruit way outperformed him his sophomore year. So he transferred to a much smaller school. As far as I can tell, he did not come anywhere close to going pro. Oh. Also, I couldn't find out what happened to his girlfriend. I'm sorry. I was relatively popular. I was in JV basketball, marching band, mathletes, and track, and pretty much made friends with everyone until my best friend at the time claimed I pushed her down the stairs and caused her to have surgery on both legs. Thing is, I was at my grandmother's funeral in another state the entire week she claimed it happened. While the teachers kept us apart and understood my side, none of the others really believed me, except the Annin Club. They believed me. Go Weebs. I went to an all-girls school and there was an all-boys school about 5 minutes walk away. When I was in my final year, the school vice captain of the boys school was dating one of our grade leaders. Both being 17 and not very smart, she eventually got pregnant. She dropped out, and pretty much everyone who knew him at our school hated him. Prior to that, he was very well liked. I thought it was a bit ridiculous, honestly. Pretty sure it takes two to tango. There was a really pretty girl that was quite popular in my high school. She was a bit snobby to people and sorta rude. I recall one time she threw a textbook at my groin because I was leaning back in my desk and thought it was funny. I guess it kinda was thinking back. She also liked to make fun of the fact that I was Mexican on more than one occasion. Anyways, she gained significant weight our junior/senior year in high school, and I guess a lot of the popular kids decided to disown her for it. I never actually heard anything, but I recall her sitting all alone at lunch one day. Not my best moment, but I walked by her, pointed, and plainly said, "You earned this." This guy at my table would play the "no one likes me, I'm the center of attention now" card. As in, he would fake sadness for attention, redirecting conversation and drawing the energy from a room. Like the kid who won't be friends with you anymore because you wore the same color shirt. He was quite wealthy too and would rub it in your face. She got pregnant at 17 and the father could have been one of two guys, both of whom were boyfriends of her close friends and neither of whom wanted anything more to do with her. My school actually had really good sex education and we knew about contraception from the age of about 11. Plus this was the UK where contraception is free and easy to get, so she couldn't blame ignorance or lack of resources. She tried for the woe is me act and nobody wanted to be around her anymore. In elementary school, so popularity was already sort of a nebulous concept, but one boy got pantsed at recess and was found to be wearing diapers. Pretty sure he was incontinent, which has got to be a rough fucking road for a little kid, especially since he didn't seem to have any other noticeable disabilities. There was an Asian girl who was well liked by everyone, smart, happy to help anyone struggling in class, and was generally a nice person. But her uncle scammed out people in her community, including parents of kids that went to our school. She went from being well liked to being bullied. Still, she dropped out of school. There was one kid in my class who was the son of our maths teacher. He was crazy popular because he was able to help everyone out with their homework for that class. Turns out he was actually snooping through his dad's notes to get the answers. The teacher naturally got super suspicious after a while, so he deliberately made a fake answer sheet. Of course, the kid grabbed it and noted it all down. It was full of wrong answers so blatant that anyone who even slightly paid attention in class would know they were way off base. The kid handed out the answers anyway, and in an instant, made about half the class bomb, and his popularity dropped like a rock as they all accused him of deliberately making them fail. They moved him to another class and they never had an incident of cheating again. He beat the shit out of me because I wouldn't give him a blowjob in our locker area. Broke my fingers, ribs, fractured my eye socket. I think I lost a tooth as well. Nothing was done because he was a rich kid, so everyone at school ostracized him as their own brand of personal justice. Rape. He was at a graduation party that I had the misfortune to attend, and his ex, who was also there, was asleep on the couch. He took her upstairs to get her away from all the noise. 5 minutes later we hear a scream and a "get off of me." She comes running downstairs, frantically pulling up her pants, and runs out. She told us what happened after a few days. The guy heard and tried to break into her house. He's in prison for assault and battery. He gave her a black eye while he was upstairs, rape, and breaking and entering. She's in therapy, and we are housemates now in college, because she goes out with a girl I'm sharing the house with. Going to high school. I go to a big high school and popularity doesn't matter like it did in middle school, even though I went to a large middle school as well. Anyway, he's a bad kid and all his friends are that way too. All of them have horrible grades and have multiple office, juvie, and suspensions too. What sucks is I live in a high affluence neighborhood and these kids, due to their parents, could afford to send them to Ivy Leagues if they weren't complete morons. A girl came out and said he had sex with her while she was unconscious after a night of heavy drinking. They were close friends, and after that all their friends and a lot of other people stopped talking to him. Police and the school got involved and everything was weird for a while. I hated this kid, but apparently the rest of the school loved him. He was freshman class president and legit looked and acted like a politician even at 18. This is college. Then he got drunk and ran over 2 girls walking back from a party, and to ice the cake he stopped and called the cops himself, but then started fighting the imps when they arrived. Somehow he only did 2 years and came back to school. His family had a lot of money, but we all knew by then how it went down. He was not well received when he returned to campus. I don't think he has a future in politics. Think he even ended up transferring schools because even the professors hated him when he came back. Well, the popular girl at my school tried to ruin the life of a really sweet girl because of boyfriend drama. When she realized people were standing up for the sweet girl instead, she lost her mind, accusing the other girl and her boyfriend of property damage, turning on anyone who didn't swear loyalty to her, turning people against one another, screaming at teachers. It was a mess. The nail in the coffin was when she confided to me and to others that she was planning to put laxatives in the pastries she baked for the class. Obviously I let people know, and she became completely ostracized. She left at the end of junior year, and senior year was the most chill year ever. I remember in middle school the popular kid asked out the most unpopular girl and then embarrassed her in front of everybody by breaking up with her and laughing in her face about how she could think it was real. It was really sad, and I remember her being really into high school TV shows, and I think she really wanted to be popular, like she hoped life would be like a Disney show or something. IDK what happened to him, but I remember everyone kind of being like, dude, and he moved a bit later. In high school the popular kids weren't necessarily bullies. They weren't super welcoming into their circle to invite everyone to parties and stuff, but they weren't total bullies, at least that I know of. They were just good at sports and attractive pretty much. Best answer to this happens between elementary and middle school. Our elementary was small, and we fed into a middle school with a much bigger school. Think 20% us, and 80% them. Most popular kid showed up on the first day, after only knowing what it's like to be the coolest kid in the small school, and tried to start shit with some random kid, who was with 11 of his friends. To show how cool and top dog he was to everyone, I guess. Yeah, those 12 guys beat him up, and then made fun of him for years. He wasn't cool anymore. Just that fast. By high school nobody cared anymore, but he was never really popular again. Wholesome for once, I guess. All popular kids in my school were complete dickheads that bullied others. This fella king of the hill, starts dating a girl from another school that was friends with one of the bullied kids. The kid told the girl what her boyfriend does in THT school, so the girl threatened to break up with him if he didn't change his ways. He stopped socializing with the cool folks and started getting bullied by them, and none of the other kids wanted to warm up to him. He was a loner at school, but he made his GF happy